The date is April 7th, 1986. The Los Angeles Memorial Sports Arena is electric with anticipation. In one corner stands the defending WWF Champion Hulk Hogan, his trademark red and yellow attire gleaming under the arena lights. In the other, a behemoth unlike anything the wrestling world had seen before, Kong Bundy, the 458-pound walking condominium, his massive bald head and black singlet casting an ominous shadow across the ring. This isn't just any match, it's the main event of WrestleMania II, enclosed within the unforgiving steel bars of a giant cage. The sight was enough to make even the most ardent Hulkamaniac doubt their hero. Bundy, managed by the cunning Bobby the Brain Heenan, had earned this opportunity through sheer dominance and brutality. Just weeks earlier, he had legitimately injured Hogan's ribs in an ambush that left the champion vulnerable. Now, as these two titans prepared to clash, the wrestling world held its collective breath. But to understand how we arrived at this moment, one of the most significant matches in professional wrestling history, we need to go back to the beginning. Before he was Kong Bundy, he was Christopher Allen Pallies, born on November 7, 1955 in Woodbury, New Jersey. At Washington Township High School in Sewell, he wasn't just another big kid. He was a legitimate heavyweight wrestler, capturing 2 regional titles before graduating in 1974. The path to professional wrestling began at Larry Sharp's legendary Monster Factory in Belmore, New Jersey. On March 7, 1981, Pallies made his debut for the World Wrestling Federation under the name Chris Kanyon, claiming his first victory against Strong Kobayashi 4 months later. But it was in Texas, with world-class championship wrestling, where the legend of Kong Bundy would truly begin to take shape. Initially introduced as Big Daddy Bundy, Pallies underwent a dramatic transformation that would define his career. Following a heated dispute with the Von Erich family, he aligned himself with manager Gary Hart and emerged as Kong Bundy, a name that perfectly captured his imposing presence. This feud with the Von Erichs led to him losing his hair, inadvertently creating the distinctive look that would make him instantly recognizable for the rest of his career. Bundy then began to hone his craft in various territories, including a notable stint in the American Wrestling Association and Georgia Championship Wrestling, where he and the Masked Superstar captured the NWA National Tag Team Championship from the legendary Road Warriors. It was during his time in Mid-South Wrestling that Bundy developed one of his most memorable characteristics, the demand for a 5 count during pinfalls, a psychological tool that emphasized his complete dominance over opponents. His official WWF debut on March 16, 1985 on Championship Wrestling was nothing short of spectacular. The Federation had been building anticipation for the arrival of this mammoth competitor, and when he finally appeared to demolish Mario Mancini, the wrestling world knew they were witnessing something special. Jimmy Hart, Bundy's first WWF manager, immediately positioned him as an unstoppable force in the heavyweight division. The spring of 1985 saw Bundy make history at the inaugural WrestleMania in Madison Square Garden. In what was announced as 9 seconds, Bundy demolished SD Jones with his devastating avalanche splash in the corner, followed by the big splash for the pin. The message was clear: Kong Bundy wasn't just another big man, he was a force of nature. Throughout the summer of 1985, Bundy continued his path of destruction, but it was a management change in September that would truly elevate his status. Jimmy Hart, in what would prove to be a brilliant strategic move, traded Bundy to Bobby the Brain Heenan. The first major program of the Heenan era saw Bundy target Andre the Giant, a feud that would help establish him as a credible threat to any wrestler, regardless of size. The angle began when Bundy interfered in one of Andre's matches, delivering multiple avalanche splashes that legitimately broke the Giant's sternum. This attack led to a series of highly anticipated confrontations, including 2 memorable tag team matches on Saturday night's main event in late 1985. The first of these matches, aired on October 3, 1985, saw Bundy team with Big John Studd against Andre and Tony Atlas. The second match raised the stakes even higher, as Andre partnered with champion Hulk Hogan against the heel duo. These matches helped establish Bundy as not just a singles competitor, but as a versatile performer who could work effectively in tag team situations. The feud with Andre reached its climax at Madison Square Garden on September 23, 1985, in a match billed as the Colossal Jostle. While Bundy didn't win the match, The program established him as one of the few wrestlers who could credibly stand toe-to-toe with the eighth wonder of the world. As 1985 drew to a close, Bundy set his sights on an even bigger target, WWF Champion Hulk Hogan. The build to their eventual WrestleMania II confrontation began at Saturday night's main event, where Bundy and the Magnificent Muraco launched a brutal assault on Hogan. The attack was so severe that it legitimately bruised Hogan's ribs, adding a layer of realism to their upcoming feud. The steel cage match at WrestleMania II on April 7, 1986 was more than just a championship bout. It was a clash of titans that helped establish WrestleMania as wrestling's premier event. Despite Bundy's impressive showing and several near falls, Hogan would ultimately retain his title after delivering his legendary leg drop. Following WrestleMania II, Bundy resumed his partnership with Big John Studd, entering into one of the most unique feuds of the era, the Battle Against the Machines. This program showcased Bundy's ability to work in long-term storylines that required both physical prowess and character work. The storyline was masterfully crafted, with Bundy, Studd, and Heenan constantly trying to prove that the giant machine was actually Andre competing under a mask to circumvent a suspension. This led to numerous six-man tag team matches, where Bundy and Studd, along with Heenan, faced various combinations of the machines and their partners. During this period, Bundy and Studd also challenged the British Bulldogs for the WWF Tag Team Championship on multiple occasions. While they never captured the titles, their matches with the Bulldogs helped showcase Bundy's ability to work with smaller, more agile opponents. WrestleMania III saw Bundy participate in one of the most memorable matches of his career, the mixed six-man tag team match, which saw Bundy team with midget wrestlers Little Tokyo and Lord Littlebrook against Hillbilly Jim, the Haiti Kid, and Little Beaver, was designed to showcase a different side of Bundy's character. When Little Beaver's persistent attacks finally pushed Bundy too far, he responded with a body slam and big elbow drop that got his team disqualified and turned his own partners against him. Later that year, Bundy achieved another career milestone when he advanced to the finals of the 1987 King of the Ring tournament. Though he ultimately lost to Randy Savage, the tournament showed that Bundy could work multiple matches in one night and maintain his imposing presence throughout. His November 1987 countout victory over Hulk Hogan on Saturday night's Main Event 13 proved that he was still a credible threat to the champion, even though he would lose the rematch on the following episode. After departing the Federation in early 1988, Bundy entered a period of semi-retirement, making only sporadic appearances in various promotions. Bundy's return in the fall of 1994 as part of the $1 Million Corporation marked the beginning of his final run with the company. His pay-per-view return at the 1994 Survivor Series was successful, as he and Bam Bam Bigelow were the sole survivors of their match against Lex Luger's Guts and Glory team. While he entered the 1995 Royal Rumble as a favorite, his elimination by Mabel after just 3 minutes suggested that times had changed. His final WrestleMania appearance came at WrestleMania 11, where he faced The Undertaker in a match that, while not reaching the heights of his earlier WrestleMania moments, still showed flashes of the dominance that had made him famous. Following his retirement from full-time competition, Pallies joined a class-action lawsuit against WWE, accusing the company of neglecting the long-term neurological injuries suffered by wrestlers. The suit alleged that WWE routinely failed to provide adequate care and deliberately misrepresented and concealed the severity of these injuries. The lawsuit was ultimately dismissed in September 2018. Anthony Mango of Bleacher Report suggested that Pally's participation in the lawsuit may have been a significant factor in the company's reluctance to induct him into their Hall of Fame. Beyond the wrestling ring, Pallies ventured into pop culture with memorable appearances in television, film, and even advertising. He had a recurring role on Married with Children, where the Bundy family name was a nod to him. From playing a bumbling mover in the Richard Pryor film, moving to a wrestling mentor on Weird Science, his larger-than-life persona left a mark. Pallies later pursued stand-up comedy, proving his charisma extended well beyond the squared circle. Sadly though, Pallies passed away on March 4th, 2019 at his home in Glassboro, New Jersey, at the age of 63, succumbing to complications from diabetes. Looking back at the career of King Kong Bundy, we see more than just a monster heel or an imposing figure. We see a pioneering performer who helped define what a super heavyweight could be in professional wrestling. His combination of size, agility, and character work set a standard that would influence generations of big men who followed. In the end, perhaps Bundy's greatest legacy isn't just the matches he won or the championships he challenged for, but the way he changed the perception of what a super heavyweight could be. In an era when giants were often portrayed as slow, plodding monsters, Bundy brought an athleticism and character depth that helped elevate the entire sport. The walking condominium may have been demolished by time, but the foundation he laid for future generations of wrestling giants remains unshakable. May he rest in peace.